Hello everyone. Today I wanted to go over the top 5 most unique ball pythons that have ever been created. So basically, I want to go over the top 5 paradoxes. I have never made a paradox. There's no real way to do that. Some people try to claim that maybe there's a way with certain other paradoxes to pass it on, but there's no real surefire answer to that. It's more or less just a very random thing that happens. They're incredibly unique. They're not valuable in terms of a breeding project, but who cares? The whole point of this is to make cool looking snakes, and this is the most unique and cool looking snake that you could possibly get. So without further delay, let's go ahead and start with number 5. At number 5 is a chimera. It's just labeled as split body pattern. Doesn't have any genes marked in it, but it is really cool looking. It almost looks like someone just started almost very well on the face with this just nice white and then just splattered it with paint, and they had a towel over half of this ball python. It's so insane that this is a real animal. And of course, just in true chimera fashion, it is split perfectly right down the middle of the face. It seems to lose some of its white as it goes down towards the tail, but even its other side has a lot of these white splotchy patterns on it. Like I said, if not for the perfect split down the face and down the side of where it is this way, I mean, you could have just told me this ball python got into your can of paint. At number 4, we have the Mahogany Black Pastel Paradox Pied. At last year's Schaumburg show, we showed off a Super Mahogany Pied, otherwise known as the Sumer Pied, as our number 1 pick. It had these 2 globe-like orbs that were different colors. One of them much more black, one of them like an earthy type brown colliding, and I just thought of them as like 2 different worlds colliding. You kind of get the same thing here in a way with the Paradox. I swear it's just tricking itself to become a panda pied, because part of this snake looks like a panda pied with just jet black next to whites, and then you get this jet black next to what would otherwise normally be a normal pied pattern, for lack of a better term. It is really cool, and it's kind of similar to that snake, but instead of orbs, you've just got big blocks of pattern. But overall, as fits the theme, this is an incredibly unique looking animal. At number 3 is a pastel calico window chimera paradox, and its name is Oreo. They're starting to get names at this level, as they all pretty much deserve names anyways. I don't know what window means. It's probably just a cute little name for this. I don't think that that is a morph of any kind. It's not listed in the traits. Where do I even begin with this? It looks like a superhero of some sort. It's got like a black mask with these nice, beautiful grays in between blacks. It looks like a California king snake, but ball python. It is so cool looking. See here, these are just pretty much jet black pattern on it, right next to some lighter gray. Again, it just kind of just reminds me of a California king snake, but in ball python size. I'm assuming it's getting this from the calico. I'm at a complete loss right now. Pastel brings in yellows. Calico would be the only thing that would kind of make sense here as anything present. There's no darkening genes in this at all. So maybe it's not completely listing all of its genes. And this just might be one of my favorite ones on here, honestly. At number 2 is a snake that's called Harvey Dent. It is a super scaleless head snake. So basically a scaleless snake, only it forgot to do that on half of its body. When you get the smooth skin of a super scaleless head and you put it next to a scaled part of its body, the scaled part almost looks burnt, looks mangled, looks messed up. If you've ever seen or held a scaleless ball python, you'll know that it's just something different. It is not like holding a snake at all. I don't even know how to really describe it. Holding a snake is kind of a unique experience. You know, maybe for us and everybody watching this, you wouldn't think so much, but doing these shows, people who held their first snakes are like, whoa, do that again when you hold a scaleless ball python, because it is super unique. He's actually for sale right now if you've got $10,000 laying around, but this is probably the coolest Harvey Dent looking snake. This is the real Harvey Dent of the ball python world. I have one honorable mention just because it looks so beautiful. They have it listed as a Axanthic Ivory Highway Chimera Paradox. It certainly has that kind of split in the face at one point, but then it kind of switches over to the other side. You can definitely tell that it was trying to become an ivory. You see it next to a normal highway. I don't know how I don't think this is possible. You shouldn't be able to be gravel and super yellow belly. They're allelic, which creates the highway. So you either are yellow belly gravel or super yellow belly, or I think super gravel, something like that. Like all of those genes, they're supposed to be allelic. So you can't really have 3 of them in a gene. But this snake said, screw that, I am. And he's pied too at the same time, apparently. Super cool. That's again why I love Paradox, because it breaks all the rules. And at number 1, I had to do it, is Skittles. This is one of the most unique snakes I've ever seen. And I think a lot of that just comes down to the 2 different colored eyes. Just sometimes the subtlest differences in things that you don't normally maybe pay attention to is enough. Looks almost like a Terminator kind of in terms of that regards. But this snake can't decide if it's just a pied or an albino pied, and most of its face looks albino pied, and there's a little blotch of regular pattern right above its right eye, and apparently that was enough to make the eye a normal piebald eye. It's just so cool. What I alluded to earlier about not being able to reproduce paradoxes, it's not a gene. This is where maybe the paradoxing, if you breed a paradox, maybe it's more likely, but nobody really knows. Skittles has produced paradox babies. They're not anywhere near as cool as her, but she has produced paradox babies. If you go on Morphmarket right now and type in Skittles, you will find a bunch of snakes that say Skittles line. So obviously there's some sort of hype behind that. I don't know, but I mean, you're looking at a paradox baby of hers right now. So I'm kind of inclined to believe it. Now, is there a percentage based on that? I don't think so. I think it's just maybe more inclined to do it because of the paradoxing. And this might be one of the most crazy paradoxes I've ever seen. I'm more perplexed that that one eye is black. There is, like I said, that little splotch of normal ball python color. You kind of see the eye stripe there, but you know, I think that's what really does it. Skittles wouldn't be quite as crazy of a hype if it hadn't been for those 2 different colored eyes. Probably one of the first paradoxes that just blew everyone away though. There had been paradoxes, I believe, before her, obviously, but nothing quite like this. Easily, in my opinion, the most popular of all of the paradox or chimera type snakes. If you'd like to see the Schomburg video of our top 5 ball pythons from that show, you can check that video out right here.